Hello and welcome to Subway NIBFA Today. I'm Barry Green. This is our last show before the festive period and we've got a real Christmas cracker in store for you today. 2 weeks ago the schedule may have all been wiped out by the cold weather. However, in today's 3 games we'll be showing you 3 hat-tricks and no less than 18 goals, so stay tuned for all the action. Today we'll be joined by former Irish League player and manager Darren Murphy, now elite performance coach at the IFA. Darren will be casting his eye on the NIBFA action from the past 2 weeks. And we'll also have our halftime team talk where we discuss hints and tips to improve your game. Now, first up we head to the Billy Neal complex in Dundonald. The match features 2 teams who had been struggling for wins in the Under-13 National League. Ridgeway Rovers went toe-to-toe with Ballymena United. Just the 6 goals in this match for you. On commentary, Johnny Martin.
Ridgeway Rovers and Ballymena United Under-13s met at the Billy Neal playing fields in Belfast on a cold winter's morning. Ridgeway in the red and Ballymena in the sky blue. It was the visitors who started the game strongly, and Ballymena's Conlon Neal tested Adam Ritchie in the Ridgeway goal in the opening few minutes, winning a corner. From that corner, the County Antrim team went 1-0 ahead when Jay McKeown kept his composure inside the area and fired into the top left corner. 1-0 after 26 minutes. Man of the moment, Jay McKeown was heavily involved in the next major chance for the Sky Blues. Conlon Neal's cross was played into the area and Ballymena had the ball in the net, but the referee ruled it out for an offside. Ridgeway Rovers then won a penalty when Jude Healy was brought down inside the area. He stepped up to take the spot kick and made it 1-1 on the stroke of half time. Into the second half with the game all to play for, and Ballymena scored the all-important next goal when Jay McKeown scored his second of the day after Cormac McConnell's initial effort was pushed back out to McKeown. Come on! The Sky Blues were more clinical in the final third, and Jay McKeown completed his hat-trick after a powerful run to make the scoreline 3-1 midway through the second half. Playing with confidence, Ballymena scored their 4th when Ridgeway keeper Adam Ritchie could only parry a powerful shot back out to the feet of Cormac McConnell, who got himself on the scoresheet. Ridgeway then gave the ball away in their own third, and Ballymena punished them when the ball fell to Cormac McConnell, who stayed cool inside the box to score his 2nd of the day. At full time it finished Ridgeway Rovers 1, Ballymena United 5.
Well, I'm delighted to say I've been joined by a man who represented Linfield and Dungannon amongst other teams in a distinguished Irish League career. He then went on to manage the Swifts before taking up a prominent role with the Irish FA. I am, of course, talking about Darren Murphy. Darren, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Barry.
Darren, you've been 2 years with the Irish Football Association now. Give us a little bit about the background to your role.
The background of my role is I'm an elite performance coach. My boss is Jim Agilton, who's the elite performance director. I currently manage the Northern Ireland Under-16 team, and I also work in the JD Club NI programme. So it's a great role. I'm delighted and I'm probably privileged to have that role, and it's one that I really, really enjoy.
Your role encompasses management of the Under-16 team. As you said, last season, the Victory Shield, you came so close to taking the win in that competition overall. How close were you?
We were really close. We won 2 games and we lost 1 game to the Republic, and it was a penalty kick. Overall, I was delighted. You know, we had a young squad. We had 3 2003s in the squad as well. The reason being that 5 of our players represented Northern Ireland at under 17 level in the Euros over in Malta, which is part of my job. You know, it was well documented that people talked about that the under 16 team was obviously light in players because we had allowed these 5 players to travel with under 17s. In my job, we have to fast track the players, and we have to get our best players through quicker, and that was the pleasing thing for me. The under 17s done well. We had 5 2002s represented over there, and then obviously back home in the Victory Shield we competed really, really well. And on another day, who knows, but all in all it was a good week.
Just give us your sense of how good the NIBFA national leagues are in developing the players then that come through ultimately to the 16s and 17s.
Yeah, the product at the moment in the NIBFA is very good. You know, the last number of years it's got better and got better. A lot of that's down to the coaching, a lot of that's down to the facilities. Obviously the JD Club NI programme has helped as well, because it gives these young kids extra nights training. So, and maybe instead of doing just 1 or 2 nights, the kids are now doing 3 and 4. So the more contact time they have, the better they become technically. So all in all, it's been great for me. I get out and about, I watch the games. It's very difficult to pick a squad of 20 now when there is so many good young players out there, but it's been pleasing.
We'll turn into the 3 games this week, into Ballymena's 5-1 win against Ridgeway in that opening game. We saw an impressive win for the Sky Blues, and then a great hat-trick then from Jay McKeown. Yeah,
wonderful hat-trick when you see the 3 goals, especially his first one. He does well. He's a tall lad. He's a bit Peter Crouch-like, I would say. But he took all 3 goals really well. And what also was pleasing in that game was young Cormac. He got 2, I think. He scored the other 2. So good win for Ballymena. I know their coach well, Johnny Hume. Johnny's son Trez, actually on under 16. He represented Northern Ireland this year at under 16 level. So I'm sure Johnny would have been delighted.
Yeah, it was a very good win. I'm sure you noticed there was a certain number 9 playing for Ridgeway dispatched a penalty there. Son of David Healy, young Jude. I'm sure David will be pleased with the finish.
Yeah, David will be pleased with the finish. I'd say I'd be more pleased with the fact that it was actually young Jude himself that
he won the penalty.
He won the penalty. Yeah. He done well down the right hand side, got into the box, was brought down, and then got up, showed a wee bit of composure and tucked it away. And I'm sure his dad would have been delighted. But if he's anything like his dad, I would say he'd be more disappointed with the result. You know, I know David well. I done my pro license with him, and he's doing a wonderful job at Linfield at the moment. But I'm sure, like all dads, he'd have been proud of his son, sorry.
Thanks very much for the moment, Darren. For our second game, we stay with Ridgeway Rovers. This time, it's their under-14s who took on Ardoyne in another high-scoring encounter that saw 7 goals in total. Again, this was played at the Billy Neal Sports Complex just outside Dundonald. Paul Smith is on commentary.
Ridgeway Rovers under-14s hosted Ardoyne in an excellent game that turned out to be a 7-goal thriller. The first of the goals came after 10 minutes, and it was Ridgeway who got it. Nathan Leckie collected the ball on the edge of the Ardoyne penalty area, and his pinpoint pass picked out Conor Harris, whose finish was emphatic. That was really it in terms of action in the first half. The real drama beginning after the interval. Troy Canavan took centre stage, beginning with the equalising goal. His first shot was saved by Callum Irvine, but he followed up to make it 1-1. And Ardoyne took the lead for the first time in the game 4 minutes later. Conor Lavery burst out of defence with the ball and released Canavan, who blasted home. A fine effort to make it 2-1. A minute later though, and it was almost 2-2. The corner for Ridgeway was half cleared. Ethan Tweedy hit it well, saw his shot come back off the goal frame, and Matty Russell was off target with the follow-up. Moments after this, and Ardoyne stretched further ahead. It's another fine assist from Lavery. He found Canavan, who completed a hat-trick in just 6 second half minutes. Brilliant work from Canavan. For the next goal, he turned provider. won the penalty, and Jack McWilliams slaughtered home confidently to make it 4-1 to Ardoyne. At this stage it might have seemed like it was game over, but it wasn't quite yet. Nathan Leckie, who had set up the Ridgeway goal in the first half, pulled one back, collecting the ball out on the right flank, cut inside and drilled home with his left. 4-2. And it was Leckie who scored another one to set up a grandstand finish in an excellent game. And it was another fine goal as well. But Ardoyne held on, with all the focus on Troy Canavan and his wonderful hat-trick. They win by 4-3.
Darren, another game, another hat-trick. Troy Canavan was ably assisted on 2 occasions by Conor Lavery, and at times the pair together were unplayable.
Very much so. I know Troy will get all the glory for scoring the hat-trick, and a great hat-trick it was, but the 2 balls through by young Lavery were exceptional, especially the first one. He picks it up in midfield, lifts his head, plays a lovely weighted pass, great first touch and a great finish, and then again he wins the ball in the middle of the park and he plays a wee reverse pass, and again he's on it, the centre forward. This time he doesn't take a touch and he pops it away. So 2 really good finishes.
Yeah, they were. To give Ridgeway credit, 4-1 down, they came back and they got themselves back in the game. They'll just consider themselves unlucky in the end, won't they?
They will, yeah. At 4-1 you're probably looking at it and thinking the game's over, but you've got to give the Ridgeway boys a lot of credit. They got themselves back into the game, they scored 2 more goals and sets up a nervy finish, when it's 4-3. The one thing about the Ridgeway goals was young Leckie.
Yeah. Looked
well, left-footed player. He scored probably the goal of the game, so he's unfortunate to end up in the losing team, but all in all, I'm sure their manager's happy that they try to get themselves back into the game.
Great advertisement for the NIBFA, that game. The win for Ardoyne moves them on to 15 points from 10 games. Rovers are 4 points further back in the under-14 table. Now it's time for our halftime team talk feature, where we talk hints and tips to improve your game. This week, Darren, you're on hand to provide your expertise. So, Darren, for the young, up-and-coming, aspiring player, you go around, you watch a lot of games, you manage the under-16 team. What would your best advice be?
One of the things that I think young players, especially in Northern Ireland, need to work on is their physical attributes. They need to make themselves stronger, and that means that they need to get themselves into the gym. What I've found, definitely in my job, technically and tactically, we're as good as anything there is, even on the mainland. But as they get a wee bit older, as they get 14, 15, 16, the physical side of the game is where we maybe are a wee bit behind. And I think, that's everyone in this country. We can all work a wee bit harder just to make sure we get our players up to that level.
Yeah, well, that might be something. If you take rugby, for example, and the schools, I know a lot of schools here who have the guys in at 6 and 7 in the morning doing weight sessions. So actually, might there be a call here for something similar to happen through the schools programme?
I would love something like that to happen. I think that would be a huge step forward in Northern Ireland football. Because I go back to it, all the stuff we do on the pitch is fantastic. It's off the pitch where we need to do a wee bit more, and that's everybody included, myself included. We need to train these young kids to get themselves into gyms, to get themselves stronger, because when they get to that age, I'll go back to it, 14, 15, 16, when you look at the kids in the mainland, they're doing it every day of the week, and this is the only area that I feel when our kids go across that they're that wee bit behind, and it takes them 18 months to catch up.
It's a great point, well made. You obviously watch a lot of games, as we've mentioned previously. Do you have a pet hate in youth football?
One of the ones that I find the hardest is sometimes the over-aggressive coach. But when it's all about them and it's not about the boy. It should always be about the boy and always about the team. But sometimes you do get coaches, and it's not just in Northern Ireland, we know that. Again, it's right across the mainland, where we get coaches that are just driven by winning and winning, and then they don't actually see how aggressive at times it can be. So that would be the one thing that I would say, the NIBFA this year, I haven't seen too much of it, which is really pleasing. Good. Really, really pleasing for me. And you should always remember it's about the development of the boy. At 13, 14, 15, winning a national league or winning a cup isn't going to make them a footballer. It helps them, yes, but it's the long-term player development that you're looking at.
In terms of your own career, you obviously had a long, distinguished Irish League career with a few clubs, we'll say. You moved into management. You're now managing the Northern Ireland under-16s. Which do you prefer?
I think nothing beats playing, I have to be honest. You know, I think back to some of the memories I have as a player, you know, things that can never be took away from me, which is wonderful. Some of the people I've met is brilliant. The one thing that I miss the most about playing is the changing room. You miss the changing room, you miss the Tuesday and Thursday nights, you miss that camaraderie, you miss the banter. What's been pleasing for me is that I've been able to keep a lot of friends through it. Sometimes in football, you know, people move on, but I've been very fortunate, you know, even back to my very first days at Glenavon, there's still people there that are my friends today, which is nice. You know, football's been good to me, really good to me. Management, obviously, I was sort of pushed into it at a very young age. I don't regret it. I really enjoyed it, and then obviously I've moved on from Dungannon to where I am now. But I look back in football and I look back on the people that I've worked with and the people that I've played with, and I've a lot of good memories. Obviously some bad ones, but I've a lot of good memories, and I've always been very fortunate.
How satisfying is it when you identify a young up-and-coming player here and they make it through, they make it across the water, and you see them getting into that kind of first-team squad in England?
Probably the most pleasing thing for me so far has been that last year, the 2001 squad, we were able to get 8 of them to the mainland. Brilliant. And some of them went to some really big clubs, which again was really pleasing. I look at the likes of young Ethan Kilbraith, who went to Manchester United. Now, I'll watch Ethan's career, hoping that one day he steps out at the National Stadium, representing Northern Ireland at senior level. I look at this year's team, and I look at Alberto, who's obviously just signed for Middlesbrough. I look at Chris McKee, who's signed for Rangers, and there's other players, I could name so many more. But for me, that has been the part that drives me on. You know, watching these kids develop month on month, year on year, to hopefully someday one of them walking out at the National Stadium, and I've been able to say I played a very, very small part in that, but that would be the most pleasing thing for me.
Thanks very much for the minute, Darren. Well, on our last show, former Glentoran player Andy Matheson chose Benji McGee's effort as a Subway Goal of the Month for November. It was a special goal, if you recall. It capped a 20-pass move, and it's now had more than 5 million hits on social media. Last week, Benji received his trophy and vouchers from Aklak Akhtar of Subway in King Square in Belfast. Well done again to Benji. Now, this week's final match only has the 5 goals in it, I'm afraid. It's another under-14 game, and this time features Glentoran and Derry Colts, played at Allen Park in Antrim on Saturday. The Glens had already won 8 from 8 and were out to maintain that 100% record. On commentary for us, Lord James.
The snow and ice had thawed in Antrim's Allen Park, but it was still bitterly cold for Glentoran and Derry Colts, the visitors getting us underway and attacking the goal to our left. In a game which Glentoran enjoyed the brighter start, Matthew Carson came close, just 5 minutes in. He collaborated with Connor Falls and his good footwork, but could only hit the crossbar. Glentoran netted an opener just 7 minutes in, however, started by Carson's surging run down the middle. He found Shay Kearney on the right, whose cross was very neatly flicked on by Elliot Wood. With the sun in Paddy Canning's eyes, this looked to be a tough first half for the visitors, following the early breakthrough from the league's dominant East Belfast side. Glentoran 1, Derry Colts 0. Dominating possession, Glentoran were really starting to turn the screw now. Connor Falls leapt higher than Rory O'Donnell to win the ball in the air, flick into Carson's path, and then Falls himself turned nicely to give Carson space to find Wood, who pounced inside the box. Woods' brace coming on 16 minutes. And making it Glentoran 2, Derry Colts 0. The goal scorer came close 2 minutes later, breezing in behind Derry Colts' defence and finding acres of space for himself on the right, but only shooting directly into Canning's arms. Aaron Whiteman started the sequence for Glentoran's next attack, his short throw knocked back by Wood, who placed himself to the right of goal, while Whiteman's pace beat both Shane Deary and Tiernan Brown. Wood collected and found Falls, who blasted over. Things went from bad to worse for Derry Colts, who hadn't managed to show much in response in the first half. Whiteman outpaced Callum McCarran to latch onto Charlie Lindsay's forward ball, where Wood, once again, was waiting in the wings. His first effort was blocked, but he made absolutely no mistake with the rebound and his hat-trick, coming just after the half-hour mark. Glentoran 3, Derry Colts 0. In the second half, Derry Colts looked to threaten, while keeper Canning did well to beat the pressure from this corner, but from the next one was not anywhere near as fortunate. Connor Falls connected for a fine header, which most goalkeepers would have had very little hope of saving. Falls this time bringing the score to Glentoran 4, Derry Colts 0. But this strong under-14 side was in no way finished yet. After good work to keep possession, some beautiful movement from Charlie Lindsay earned himself a spot on the score sheet, gliding into a central position to meet the pass and netting from close range, with the ball glued to his instep despite pressure from Sam McKeever. A deserved and comprehensive win for the East Belfast side, finishing Glentoran 5, Derry Colts 0.
Darren, another game, another hat-trick. The Glen showed in that match exactly why they're the team to beat this season.
Yeah, I know quite a few of the Glentoran players, the 2004 age group. A lot of talented young players in that group. You know, very good hat-trick by Elliot Wood, definitely is. But when you look through the team and you see the likes of Connor Falls, Charlie Lindsay, Harry Wilson, there's plenty of players that you can name, Oren Whiteman, all really good footballers. For me, the goal of the game probably was Connor Falls's.
Yeah.
It's a great ball in by Matty Carson, whips it in from a corner. Well done by Connor, gets up above the defender, great header. But all in all, it was comfortable for Glentoran.
Very comfortable, as you say. If you're the manager of that Derry Colts side, what do you say to the players after a performance like that?
One of the things you can probably do as a manager from there is learn from it. Say to his players, what did Glentoran do well? What did we not do well? And then go back on the training pitch next week and then try and improve on that. You know, if I was a manager Derry Colts, I'd be looking at the movement of Glentoran and look at their passing ability, their capabilities of getting into wide areas, putting balls in the box. All in all, when you look at Glentoran this year, 2004, they're very, very strong. Yeah. Everyone knows that. But there's lots you can learn from it. You know, if you see a team playing really, really well, you're the opposing manager, try and take their good points and try and implement them into your team.
Great points, well made. Darren, thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yes, I did very much, Barry. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks also to you for tuning in. We'll see you again on the 18th of January when we will announce the winner of our Facebook competition to win 2 tickets to the next home Northern Ireland match. You'll also win Subway platters for your team should you win that competition. Now to enter, go to the Exporte Facebook page and view the competition video there. It's simple to enter and only takes a few moments, so go and give that a go. That's it from us for 2017. All that's left for me to do is to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy and peaceful New Year. See you all next time.